The market started trading on a flat footing yet again today. The JSE closing weaker on Tuesday as investors awaited fresh catalysts for direction from a key inflation report this week. For more insights on the latest market developments, I'm joined by Sanlam Private Wealth Director Greg Katzenellenbogen. Greg, good morning. Give us a snap overview of how the markets are looking this morning.
I haven't opened well at all, down about 0.8%. Following Asia's lead this morning, a much weaker tone in Asia, and I'm afraid that it's likely to remain in the red at least until 3:30 this afternoon, when, as you mentioned, that we get some key inflation data out of the US as well as the US GDP figures. Why markets have been treading water recently is because they've had to relook at their expectations of 4 or 5 interest rate cuts this year in the United States, because inflation has actually remained quite sticky, and now people are thinking that the US Federal Reserve will only maybe cut in June or July, when it was expected either March or May. So this data coming out this afternoon at 3:30 will be very important. We'll see just how well that US economy is doing. I expect it to show that it's still doing exceptionally well. But of course, the PCE, or what they call personal consumption expenditure, that will be the figure that will be closely looked at, because that is a key number for the Federal Reserve to see if inflation is coming down. If it shows that it's sticky, then I'm afraid that we might stay in the red.
Yeah, it's interesting, Greg, that other countries, not just South Africa, are looking at, rates as a way of kind of reining in or dealing with and managing inflation. A big subject. Hopefully we can talk a bit more about that another time. But Vodacom approaching the Constitutional Court, and this is a saga that's been going on. They're seeking to overturn a Supreme Court of Appeal judgment in the Please Call Me matter, calling it, quote, fundamentally flawed. Does Vodacom have a leg to stand on, or are they just dragging it out?
Well, look, not being a lawyer, I'm not sure about a leg to stand. All I can tell you is that they had no option but to appeal this judgment, because, they're saying that the appeal court basically, in terms of calculating what is payable, they really took the complainant's views into account and not theirs. But if you under those rules, I mean, there's numbers bandied about that the inventor could get anywhere between 10 and 29 billion rand. Now, if that was to happen, that would put Vodacom under extreme financial pressure. So they had really no option but to appeal. So I'm sure that the Constitutional Court will weigh in again, but on this long-standing matter. But definitely they have no option but to appeal, because that could significantly affect the financial stability of the company if you were just to take that the method that the appeal court mentioned.
Certainly. Well, looking for wings or expecting wings, RCL Foods says it is expecting an increase in earnings for the 6 months to the end of December. Talk us through those numbers.
Yeah, the numbers were pretty good, and yesterday the share price jumped around 7%. But the main gains in that came from the Rainbow chickens, and then their sugar business. And in terms of Rainbow, they've been looking to restructure the business, and it's done well. And that's done well for them. In terms of the sugar, the yield was less, but of course the price went up sharply. So those were the two big drivers of their good result. The earnings, up over 100%.
All right, well, let's talk about industrial and chemical business, Cap Limited. They've also got results for these 6 months ended 31 December 2023 out. Let's take a look at their performance.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. Their net income was down about 37%. Their headline earnings were about 21 cents, whereas previously they had 33 cents. Revenue was down 2%. Their operating profit was down 19%, so that's quite a big number. They are looking to sell their Unitrans business. It's been a very tough time for logistics businesses because of what's happening with load shedding and, of course, the problems at the port. So they've had a few discussions with people about selling unit trans, but nothing has happened so far. But it really is, they're looking to divest of that and to reduce debt.
Thank you very much for that overview. We really appreciate your time. Sanlam Private Wealth's Greg Katzenellenbogen on the markets there.